Hi, hello, good day everyone. My name is Navin Kumaran. I'm from Polytechnic Tuanku Sultan Bahia. Right, my presentation topic is oral presentation difficulties, experience of students at Polytechnic Tuanku Sultan Bahia. This Polytechnic Tuanku Sultan Bahia will be short formed as PTSB in further slides. Okay. Right. So there are several reasons why we choose this topic. Actually, this research was done by me myself and my colleague Pon Shahira, but she cannot present it today. So there are several reasons why we choose this topic, and yeah, it is undeniable fact that students find nightmare when it comes to presentation. Moreover, when it is in English, that's it. Right. And in Malaysia, according to survey, 65 of the graduates are facing poor communication skills, which leads to unemployment. Right. Some are very good technically. They are like polytechnic students. They really learn things in technical manner, which are very good. But when it comes to language and expressing their ideas, they cannot do that. So there are several factors why this issue happen every time when it comes to speaking English. So several researchers tell that states that poor written and spoken, lack of confidence, anxiety, and fear of making mistakes among the factors mentioned. Right. As we knew earlier, uh, these students are really good in technically, but they are poor in their communication skills. Right. The purpose of the study is to investigate academic oral presentation difficulties faced by PTSB students. So we just want to see what are the factors that hinder them from trying to speak, trying to communicate in English with others. So before we move on with the findings of the data, let us see what other researchers has to say on this issue. Right. So according to Hanafi Zaid and Kamaruddin in 2011, they mentioned that the main complaint from employers or the industrial sector is lack of communication skills among the local graduates. Right, especially when it comes to speaking English. So King in 2002, he mentioned that the students are really not ready to face a working environment when they leave polytechnic university or tertiary education. They're really not ready for that. Right. So Abdullah and Abdul Rahman 2010, they often leave the task of making oral presentation to the more proficient members of their group. This is what we always see in English classrooms. Whenever the lecturer give them presentation topic or presentation task, they just present just a little part in the presentation. They play a small role in the presentation, whereby they leave the other parts to the good students who are really can converse in English. Zainuddin and Slamat, they said that great difficulties in communicating effectively at work despite having excellent technical knowledge in their area. So as I mentioned earlier, they are really good technically, but when it comes to communication and sharing the ideas, they're like there is a setback or lack in it. So besides that, other researchers also they come up with different factors, different uh, things that hinder students from startup presentation. So as we can see here, unable to express their ideas well, pronunciation, anxiety or fear of making mistakes, unpreparedness, lack of confidence are among them. So for this research, we come up with a theoretical background whereby we take language anxiety as a main part, and we divide it into three parts, right? Which is communication apprehension, text anxiety, fear of negative evaluation. So let us go through one by one. Communication apprehension is the inner fear that the students have, the anxiety that the students have when they want to communicate with others, strangers, or someone they know well. But when it comes to English, they find difficult. Right, so they're afraid of making mistakes, and they're afraid of, if I make mistake, what other people will say. What uh, they're worrying about more to the presentation part, not the content part. Right. The second part is text and test anxiety. This is actually fear of failing the test situations, which normally we feel before the examination. Students often set impractical demands. They always set a demand whereby I need to achieve this. If they couldn't achieve that demand, they feel like, okay, I'm gone, that's it. So they have the anxiety inside them. So because of that, they cannot focus and they feel nervous. Last part in the theoretical background is fear of negative evaluation, which is they they are afraid, they are scared that people might judge them. If I made mistake, what other people will say, what my lecturer will say. He is keep on correcting me. Actually, the lecturer is correcting for the good purpose, but students cannot understand it sometimes. So these are this is the theoretical background that we come up with. And let us move on with the methodology. For this study, we employ quantitative and qualitative method. So two different type of method, whereby for quantitative we use questionnaire, 5 Likert scale questionnaire, and distributed to 223 semester 4 students who are currently taking communicative English 3. Right. So we divided the questionnaire into two sections. First sections is talk about areas of oral presentation difficulty, whereby we have preparations, organization, delivery, and evaluation. And second part of the questionnaire will talk about causes of oral presentation difficulties, why this thing happened. So for delivery part in the first section, so it is divided into 6 parts, which will be explained further. Um, for qualitative, uh, we come up with an interview question with 8 respondents only. It's a small number of respondents. We just pick it just like that. So just want to elicit information about their perception, why it is important to learn our presentation, and the difficulties they face. So let us go with the findings. All right. This slide shows that findings of the questionnaire. As we can see, the questionnaire divided into 4 areas, as I mentioned just now: preparation, organization, delivery, and evaluation. So we can see here the highest mean here is 3.24, which is delivery, whereby students have most difficult part of them of for the students is the delivery part. Okay, so delivery we discuss further in coming slides. The least difficult area for them is preparation. Of course, they can find the points in internet or something like that. Okay, so talking about delivery just now, so as I mentioned, we divided into 6 parts. So we can see here the least part here is 2.97, which is body language. So they don't find difficulty of maintaining the body language. They can stand correctly. They can maintain the eye position and so eye contact and so on. The most difficult part for them is here 3.41 and 3.41, language use and anxiety management. But standard deviation showing that anxiety management is much more higher compared to language use. So these two sub areas of delivery will be focused in detail. Right. So the findings of the study. It's a qualitative analysis. This is for the interview just now. So we have 8 students, moderate level students, which whom chosen by their English lecturers, and the data that we get from the interview we obtained, and we coded into categories. So as you can see here, ES for engineering students and CS for commerce students, for for students each sections. Right. Right, so these are the findings actually. First, they find difficulty in pronunciation. So these are the students' answer. The first thing, of course, the English itself. They find difficulty in English. The pronunciation, I mean, we need to practice more. So students agree that they have problem in pronunciation. So whereby here students telling that sometimes when I'm presenting, I'm not to say lack of confidence. He has the confidence, but I want to present it. It just we have difficulties in pronunciation. They cannot pronounce certain words properly. So this is second part. Besides pronunciation, they also have problems in English proficiency. The how good they are in English. Because we choose moderate level students, of course they find sometimes difficulties. So these are the answers. These are the response done by students. Okay, and then second is I'm not very good speaking in English, even though I love to hear English songs. They put effort, but not in the right way. Right. So third part, besides pronunciation, besides proficiency, we have difficulty in elaborating main points during presentation. This is a main part, very important part in the presentation, but the students find it difficult to do it. So maybe this is because of the topic is unclear or unfamiliar for them. Right. So just one student answer it properly, engineering student. And the last part will be English difficulty with anxiety management when delivering the oral presentation. They find it is they find it's nervous when they conduct or presentation, especially in English. So the nervousness, it leads to the mistake, and they might forget the ideas when presenting. So we can see four students answer it. When I feel nervous, I have grammar errors and I stop speak well in front of people. They afraid that the lecturer or the students might judge them, so they stop there. They don't want to continue. And when I feel nervous, also I have no idea what that I'm going to speak. So they forget the points. Right. So these are the students' responses for qualitative analysis in delivery. So from the research, it's just a basic research done by us here. So from the discussion, we can see that anxiety plays main role, important role, and it is the most difficult part in delivering oral presentation for most of the participants. They feel nervousness. They feel the nervousness. Uh, and which stop them from delivering the presentation effectively. Second part, of course, language usage also should taken into account, should taken into consideration, whereby students uh, tend to make grammatical mistakes easily. But as a lecturer, as an educator, we should know how to correct it in a right way. We shouldn't like scold them in front of the class or something like that, or tell them in a proper manner, right? Besides that, students also unable to use appropriate vocabulary, maybe lack of reading or something like that, and they cannot come up with a proper sentence structure when presenting. Right. So from the study, we can see that delivery is the most challenging part for the students. Even though my study has limitation, it just only cover PTSB students, just 223 of them. But further research should be conducted by other lecturers in other polytechnics, so that we can get an overall idea, right, and so on. So as in polytechnic, we can arrange some courses. Actually, we are teaching them oral presentation skill just as a subtopic. So my suggestion is we should make it as a subject, so that students will learn thoroughly from A to Z how to present, what they need to prepare, and the A to Z things students need to learn. And if we do that, I'm sure students able to do present it in a good manner in coming future. So that's all my presentation. Thank you very much for listening. That's all. Thank you very much.